Live Tuesday, May 9th from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. This is Fantasy Dominance Now. Come dominate fantasy sports with us. And bringing you all the tools to dominate is Soap Stash, the new soap standard. Like them on Facebook, Soap Stash LLC. Find them online, soapstash.com. And for ordering information, call 844-890-3197. From the best soap in the business, we are the best fantasy minds in the business. Happy Rally Dildo, everybody. Thank you ever so much for joining us. We'll get to that story later. We got nail-biting Brian Daly with his Ducks facing Game 7.
Yeah.
I didn't waste any time bringing that up.
No, you didn't.
We'll get into it on the Hockey Happy Hour later, but I think they're in it to win it. We got the unhinged Doug Pitchford.
What up?
Welcome back to the program, brother. After a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
How was the birthday?
Felt good. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
good times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I don't remember what happened that night.
Nor should you.
I just know I woke up. I just know I woke up somewhere, and I'm like, wait. How did I get here? Wait, why do I still have money in my pocket?
Oh, man, because people are paying for you. You shouldn't be spending money on your birthday. Come on now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but even still, this is me.
Yeah, true. The money will just...
Yeah, man. That's how I roll.
I'm Rob Povey, everybody. Matt Harvey is bringing all the fantasy dominance from the producer's chair. We're missing Mikey Kleinkopf this week. He's off. It's his last day of classes, and he has a huge final. So kill it, Mikey. Best of luck to you. He'll be back next week.
You know he's going to kill it. I'm not going to give him no well wishes, man. Just do what you do, bro.
I like it.
Definitely.
I like it.
So how was your weekend in fantasy or otherwise?
Another day in fantasy, another week in fantasy, another Sunday loss. That's how.
Narrowly.
Seriously, narrowly, but it is what it is.
You could say whatever you want about your weekend. Guaranteed it wasn't as bad as Matt Harvey's. So
probably not.
I don't know about that. I mean, it could get worse at a point, but I mean, Matt Harvey's an idiot, bro. Fucking moron.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And no pardon my French. None.
Hey, you all went in on the dominance. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search a2dradio.com. If you got fantasy questions, tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN. I'm at RobbieBLTZ. Doug, you are at
StatMagnet85.
Brian, you're at
Brian_A2D Radio.
Hit us up individually. Hit up the station at A2DRadio_com. The show at FDN A2D. Lots of different ways. As long as you hashtag AskFDN, we'll get to your questions live or on the show. Or if you're catching us on the replay, we'll definitely get your questions answered so you can make money in some Fanduel and definitely dominate in your fantasy leagues. We have a great show in store for you all today. As you know, the aforementioned Matt Harvey was suspended over the weekend, and that's the latest saga for the New York Mets. We'll offer our opinions and give you all the latest. We have our weekly dose of waiver wire ads and streaming pitchers. We also asked you on Facebook and Twitter, who are you stashing in fantasy baseball? Gave you a couple options. Madison Bumgarner due to injury. David Price also due to injury. Matt Harvey due to stupidity. We're just bombing him today. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could also make that argument for stupidity for Madison Bumgarner, too.
Yeah, that's a
so it
good
can go
point.
either way.
That is a good point. Or other. Vote on Twitter, comment on Facebook. We'll read your comments live on the air. And you'll see why we're asking you this question, because later we'll play a game called Stash or Pass, and we'll explain to you more when the game comes up. But first, the main topic of the day is buy low, sell high candidates in fantasy baseball. And this is brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-889-3434. Look them up online, scanzanosports.com. Excellent baseball training. Get your son, get your daughter trained in softball. None better than the Scanzano Sports Center. So, we'll get back to the poll question later, guys, when we play Stash or Pass, but I want to really dive head deep into buy lows and sell highs. It's that time of the year, fellas. You know what I mean? If your team's struggling a little bit, what moves are you making to help bolster your lineup chances? So, I don't know, you want to say, who your top or top one, top two, whatever it looks like, buying low and selling high candidates.
I want to say one of my selling high candidates, my top ones, is my shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but he's off to a little bit of a rocky start, but he seems to be coming into his own. top prospect of the Red Sox. I think he's one of the more top hitting shortstops in the league.
I don't know that about it. Had a fabulous year last year. Definitely, I am familiar. Very slow start. Much like a lot of Boston's lineup this year.
Yeah, it's the Poppy effect, man. It really is. Like, Poppy, big problems, man.
Changes up the whole dynamic.
It really does. You don't have that vocal leader. You don't have that masher in the middle of your lineup that people have to respect and have to fear. Like, who's that guy in that lineup that you really say actually scares you in that lineup? Who's the guy?
In that Red Sox lineup now?
Yeah, who's the
There's
guy?
really nobody.
Right. That's the Poppy effect. Like, they don't have that one guy. Like, but even before it was Poppy, it was Manny. Like, Manny was the guy no one wanted to pitch to Manny. Nobody wanted to pitch to Manny. They'd rather pitch to Poppy.
I mean, everybody in that lineup right now is struggling. Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts. I mean, Mitch Moreland's probably been one of the more consistent hitters in that lineup right now, but there hasn't been very many good Red Sox hitters this year. But like I said, Xander Bogaerts is starting to come into his own. He's starting to find a little bit of a steady stream in his swing now, and he'd be one of the guys that I would sell high.
Okay. I don't blame you there. I'm actually going to go to a guy that's like going to be very surprising to a lot of people because he probably is one of the better players in the game. But I just don't see this being like that type of year for him, even though he's off to an awesome start to the season. I mean, he's mashing baseballs right now. But
mashing.
He is mashing. But I'm selling high on Manny Machado this year. I'm selling right now. I'm selling on Manny Machado. I mean, granted, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, 17 runs scored, but he's hitting .229. I mean, granted, yes, the on-base is still in the mid-300s. I believe his on-base is like 320 something. I think it's like 322 off the top of my head. But I don't like the peripherals. I mean, he's got 25 strikeouts on the year, which isn't that bad in 118 at-bats. And he does have 18 walks to go with that, but he's just not – I don't know. He's just not putting the ball – basically, he's putting the ball in play, but he's putting the ball in play in the air way too much. I haven't actually looked at the fly ball, his fly ball to ground ball ratio. Right. But from, the few games that I have seen of the Baltimore Orioles, I've seen quite a few fly balls, if not strikeouts, out of the guy.
Right.
So it just seems like he's literally just up there trying to hit home runs at this point, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's definitely still production for your fantasy team. But you're not going to get Nolan Arenado. You're not going to get that Nolan Arenado production, that 335, 35 home run, 120 RBIs. You're not going to see that out of Machado this year. So I'm definitely selling high on him right now.
I mean, based on those numbers, yeah, they could be great for the average to above average superstar. But, I mean, Machado's elite. He's elite. I put him right up there with Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. I don't think that's a big surprise. I don't think that's me going out on the edge and saying that. But this year, not measuring up to the gold standard. Not a bad on base like you were saying, but this is a guy that could rocket out 380 and above on base. Definitely batting around 300, maybe 280 to 300, and still putting some little pop in that ball, getting the ball out of the ballpark. So, but you're saying so you want to buy low on Machado. Is that what you're saying, or you want?
No, I'm actually selling high. I'm selling high on Machado because he's still ranked. I believe he's third. I believe he's third or fourth among fantasy third basemen this year. I believe he's also in the top 5 or top 6 among shortstops if he's shortstop eligible in your league. So, I'm not talking about a guy who, is not productive, but I am talking about a guy who you're going to overlook the batting average. Most people are just going to overlook that batting average right now, and they're going to overlook the lower on base, and they're just going to see the home run RBI production, and they're just going to see in points leagues, they're just going to see the points that he's been putting up. They're going to overlook some of the factors that could say, well, he's doing well now, but this could fall back off a little bit. This could be one of those semi-subpar years for a superstar player.
No, I get it, man. I mean, see, if I hear a player's numbers are down, that's when I'm going to buy low. But I get what you're saying, though. They're going to look past some of those peripheral numbers, see the power, know it's Machado, trade for the name, and that could be advantageous to Machado owners.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm actually going to sell high on Machado in this case, for those reasons. I mean, granted, if you're one of those people who's trading for Machado, obviously, yeah, you're buying low. You're going to try to buy as low as humanly possible.
Always.
Because he is a guy who does have some deficiencies right now. But, again, I mean, the dude's a stud. Let's be real.
I mean, Brian, you're a Machado owner. What would you expect in return for Manny Machado?
If I was a Machado owner, I would probably say I would probably look for a little bit of pitching, starting pitching. If we're going to go based off of what I'm looking for right now on my roster.
Yeah, this is altered by needs, absolutely. But just general value-wise.
I would probably want 3 players for Manny Machado, at least.
Yeah, 3 for 1. I mean,
3 for 1.
It commands that, but yeah, if he's hitting for a lower average, that could bite the person that's giving up 3 players for your Machado.
No, absolutely. But, I'm looking to, get the value for, the said player that I'm trying to give up. And in this case, it's Manny Machado, and you know what you're getting out of Manny Machado. You're going to get power. His average is going to come up because it's only May. Not that it really matters in fantasy, but you're getting a good defensive third baseman, and he can play shortstop.
It does matter in some leagues. Like, I mean, we're all in a league together where errors do count. I'm in other leagues where defensive metrics count. You know what I mean? So that's like part of your scoring is defensive metrics. So it can.
Everybody knows what you're going to get out of Manny Machado, so I'm definitely going to be asking for at least 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, and by the way, just to confirm on the on base for this year is 328.
Right.
Currently.
Which is obviously not bad. A lot of players would take that, but it's not the 380 that.
Right. I mean, also his slugging's down too. He's slugging 475 right now.
So yeah, his slash line.
His slash line is definitely down from the previous 2 years, across the board. So it's definitely I'm not saying there's regression. What I'm saying is I just think this is just a down year, and I think this is definitely a good time to sell high because people are still going to think it's Manny Machado. He's just going to bounce back.
Right. No, absolutely.
To Brian's point.
I mean, I'm definitely one of those people. If I see Manny's down and he's available, I'm going to try and get him because it's Manny Machado, and it's only May, so his slash line could obviously go up. There's still plenty of time for that to happen, but you know what you're getting from him.
True.
Absolutely. Well, I was prepared to go ahead with the buy low candidate, but I'm going to stick with the whole sell high candidate thing because this is the one I know you're not going to agree with because you just traded for Ryan Zimmerman. I'm saying you sell high on him. You sell high on him. Is he healthy right now? Absolutely. And to your point, the healthiest he's been in years.
Yeah.
Right? How long does that last? You may have gotten the healthiest portion of the season from him.
True, you might have. I mean, I was obviously I bought on him. I just acquired him. And for my buy low candidate, funny enough, which we'll get into, which is part of the reason why I bought high. Part of the reason why I bought in on high on Zimmerman.
Right.
But no, I'm very high on Zimmerman this year. I think that he's finally healthy. First time in a few years he's been healthy. More importantly, though, he's playing a different position to be healthy, and that, I think, is more important to Ryan Zimmerman than anything else. Now he's a first baseman. He doesn't have to worry about going to his left, going to his right. He doesn't have to worry about trying to make the throws across the diamond and get there accurate and hard and on time. All he's doing is catching the ball.
Right. I absolutely get it. I mean, you look at his hard hit rate, 48.2% is ridiculous.
He's not keeping that up.
No, he's absolutely crushing the ball. And that's why I bring it up is that a lot of these stats that he's putting up are not maintainable. So if you sell high on him, the person you're getting isn't going to get as much production as you have already gotten from him at this point. Maybe it continues on a little bit longer for you in the, in the season. But the key things is to look within the numbers, and there's a really just 2 hitters have a larger discrepancy between their OBA and their ex-OBA than Zimmerman, and his OBA is 98 points higher than it should be according to the metrics. So even with that knowledge, it's worth keeping in mind that Zimmerman's ex-WOBA of 471 trails only Freddie Freeman for the league. His 472 BAP is the highest in the league and a far cry from his 312 mark. He's also the third highest home run to fly ball rate at 39.4%, which is another indicator that his power surge is not sustainable while he's only putting 38.8% of balls in the air, to your point, similar to Machado.
Right.
So I just think, are you going to get good? As long as he stays healthy, you're going to get, solid production, but you're not. If people are buying for what he's done already this year, you might get disappointed.
You might, yeah. I could definitely see that. You definitely might get disappointed based on based on those metrics. I mean, the one part of that metric that I will say though is his career. What is it? He has a career 312 BABIP, right?
He no 268 career mark.
He has a 268 career BABIP.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's going to get hurt. That has been hurt by the last 3 years of him being very injured and not playing well and not playing a lot.
No.
But,
I'm sorry. No. I was looking at a different number. 312.
Yeah,
312.
even
You're
the
right.
but even his 312 career BABIP, which is still pretty high if you actually really look at the stat itself. That's a respectable number for a power hitter. With his injuries in the last few years, that mark has definitely taken a hit.
Yeah.
In terms of going down. So if you figure it's gone down by at least 30 or 40 points, I mean, this is not that inconceivable that he can not sustain where he's at now, but not take a ridiculous 200-point drop off in that metric. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely know what you mean.
So I could still see quite a bit of production. I think this is a career year for him. So I'll ride it while it lasts. I'm pretty sure it'll last a while. So I'm gonna ride it while it lasts.
Yeah, absolutely. Ride it out. Brian, who's your sell high candidate? Who's the guy you're looking, or one of the top of your list, or your big number?
I kind of want to buy high or sell high right now on Aaron Judge. A young player, good prospect for the Yankees. Definitely mashing baseballs all season long so far. Average of 317 on the season. He's got 13 home runs so far, which is, I believe, is one more than Eric Thames.
Yeah, he's tied with the league with the aforementioned Ryan Zimmerman.
And he has also got 28 RBIs on the year. So, young player, good player to bring in on a keeper league, I believe. Maybe more on a dynasty league, but Aaron Judge is just showing that he really is a Yankees top prospect, and he's got a ton of power. Honestly, I think he might be a god among men in this game.
He's big enough.
He's definitely big enough.
He's a man. He's legitimately like a defensive end on a really good football team because he's just huge. He's built like a brick shit house. He just mashes baseballs and doesn't care.
No,
he makes it look easy, man. I mean, look how small the bat looks when he's up at the plate. It's ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. He looks like he's holding a twig. And he's just mashing baseballs.
Already standing next to Ronald Torreyes, man. It looks like he brought his son to work.
Seriously. Just in his last 10 games alone, he's got 1, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 home runs in his last 10 games. It's crazy. His power is ridiculous. So I would give up a player or two to get a guy like Aaron Judge.
I actually fully agree with you, and I own him in both leagues. It's tough because he's off to such a hot start, setting rookie mark after rookie mark for the New York Yankees. But it's all about what has he done and what is he going to do when you try to prognosticate it. If you're playing at an elite level, well, sadly, there's only one way to go, and that's down.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're going to trade off a good piece and get back a lot more for a guy that's not going to replicate what he's done, maybe, let's say it's around the All-Star break, and you're talking the first half of the season versus the second half of the season, smart trade.
Right. I could agree with I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, he's definitely a great sell high candidate. Though I would be a little leery on selling him right now. I think you let it ride for another week or so, 2 weeks, and you see what's going on, and then you and then you start shopping him around, maybe fill a need or two, pick up pick up an elite arm or two, you know what I mean? If that's what you need, what have you. But I mean, 31 strikeouts, 15 walks, these are the numbers. This is what he was doing in the minors, and what he was doing in the minors was just hitting 40 homers a year.
Right.
And just, just not giving a shit. Aaron Judge is a monster, man. He definitely is the next star in the game. I think we've mentioned this once or twice before. Just saying.
I mean, this kid is he's a monster.
It's not fair. That's what it is. It's just not fair. When you look at that motherfucker and it's not fair. How can you play baseball? You're too big.
What is he, 6'7", something like that? 6'7", 6'7" right fielder?
Yeah, he's like 6'7" and a half or some shit. He's huge. Like I said, I've watched him play quite a few times, you know what I mean, on field level, and the dude towers over people. He towers
6'7".
Yeah, he towers over me.
282 pounds.
Like, I'm not a small dude. I'm like fucking, I'm about 6'1", and he towers over me.
Tommy,
like, I'm looking up like, hey, what up?
Tom on ATD Radio, agree to disagree, put out this factoid. Aaron Judge is bigger than, I think, over 1,500 linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the game so much easier for him, and why I think he's a good sell high candidate is because of his size.
Right.
I feel like it makes the game a little bit easier for him.
Right. Now, Doug, you already gave your sell high. Who's a good buy low candidate for you?
Oh, I was going to give another sell high candidate, but okay.
Well, I just wanted to touch the top ones, and then I figured I got a whole bunch that I could rattle off. Who you really wanted to go in depth on.
Yeah. All right, well.
And if it's that sell high candidate, go for it, baby. Do your thing.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm gonna go with my buy low since you already queued it up.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he's in our poll question. And obviously I already bought low on him, and that's David Price, Boston Red Sox left-hander. You know, like, let's be real here. There's still the Boston Red Sox. They're still a quality lineup, despite some of their deficiencies. They still have one of the best farm systems in all of baseball to fill any actual need that they really have. They can go fill it with a guy. You know, that being said, you know what I mean, you can't really find too many David Prices out there. And from everything, you know what I mean, in terms of his medicals, with his rehab from his elbow issue, everything sounds good. Like, you know, everything sounds good. Everything's checking out. You know, I mean, he's going through his rehab stronger than ever. He's already hitting He's already hitting 97, 98 on the gun. He's already throwing all his pitches. So in terms of guys that like are buy low candidates who, you know what I mean, banged up a little bit, like he's definitely the guy. He's definitely probably the top guy right now that I'm targeting in terms of a buy low, because you don't know what you're going to get with Madison Bumgarner because he broke something. Like, you never know. Usually when something breaks after it's fixed, it's usually not exactly the same.
Well, it's a grade 2 strain, which is just a fancy medical word for tear.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's facing a tear in.
I thought he had a hairline fracture too.
I mean, that the sprain is what's got him on the DL. That's all. That's really all they're talking about.
Yeah, I thought he had a hairline fracture too in like his like shoulder plate or something. But you know, with things even with that type of strain and stuff, like you're talking about a guy who's gonna be out for months on end. You know, he's out at least 3 months. You don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in when he does come back.
And to your point, I mean, I know David Price is already starting to throw, working his way towards rehabbing in the minor leagues. So you could stash him and not have to stash him for too long. But he's definitely a guy, and I bring that up because we're going to get into that stash and pass in a little bit. But little tease, little precursor. But in terms of a good buy low candidate, somebody might be like, well, look, I have like him plus 3 other pitchers injured. I got to dish one of these injured guys. You know what I mean? David Price could be a guy you could shoot for. And, I mean, the last thing we remember from him is, not performing well in the playoffs,
right,
which has been his MO. So that owner might be down on what his last inkling of that player was.
Exactly. And, let's be real. David Price is one of the more dominant, regular season pitchers we have in this game.
And I'm glad you guys brought this up because this is actually a trade between these two guys. You were referring to it before where he sent David Price your way and Ryan Zimmerman. And
there was another piece. I can't remember who it was, but I got Hector Santiago and Jamison Talion, who's going to be missing. There's actually no timetable on his return, but
what happened to Jamison Talion?
He,
I didn't even know this happened.
Surgery.
You traded him damaged goods, didn't you?
No.
No. I got one start out Italian, and then he apparently went through surgery for testicular cancer.
Oh.
So they have no idea when he's going to be back.
See, that's an unforeseen circumstance. That actually really sucks.
Believe it or not.
Get well soon, James Italian. That fucking sucks. That fucking sucks, dude.
Believe it or not, it's actually I've seen players come back. I think you saw it with John Lester, or it was. Did he have testicular cancer?
I don't know if he had testicular cancer.
No. He had lymphoma.
He had lymphoma.
But there's another play I just can't put my finger on it or whatnot, at least in the baseball world, let alone, you had Lance Armstrong in the biking world, where, believe it or not, it's not – you think, man, I'm going to be on the shelf for 6 months if you cut open my nuts. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's really not, a long turnover time.
Colorado Rockies' Chad Bettis, he's currently fighting testicular cancer, actually. hence why he's not pitching right now.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to him in his battle.
Absolutely. A guy I'm buying low on, E squared, Edwin Encarnacion. He's been underperforming, much like I think you expected coming into this season, moving from Toronto to Cleveland at age 34. He's, batting .229, 5 homers, which isn't terrible, but not up to his standards, 11 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of .361, which is nice. So there's things to like about Edwin, and being that a lot of his numbers that he's putting out right now are below his career averages, again, only one way to go, and that's up. So he's a guy that maybe somebody might be, you know what, Doug Pitchford said he's not going to have a good season, so maybe I should dish him and not expect too much what you would get for him, say, as recently as last year.
Right.
So I think he definitely makes for a good buy low candidate. On the pitching side, I think Jeurys Familia makes a good buy low candidate. And this was a guy that I was not high on, despite him setting the Mets record for saves last year. I saw his whip go up. I saw him being a little more wild, less control, getting hit up a little bit more. And when he first came off of his suspension this year, it seemed like, man, my fears were being corroborated. Well, over the past 2 matchups, he has been dominant, back to his more dominant self. Just bringing up the game log here. Pitched 2 clean innings. No strikeouts, but definitely getting the outs key. Got a save. He got two consecutive saves and a win in his last 3. So he's definitely trending up. I say you buy low right now if you're in the need for a relief pitcher. And Jeurys, he had that month off, so that's one less month taxing him for the season. And you could say what you want about the Mets being in disorder and having a lot of injuries, but they haven't stopped winning, though. And matter of fact, they've been winning more, winning 7 out of their last 10 ball games, finding a way, showing their depth. So a benefactor of that will be Jeurys, I believe.
And a bigger benefactor, the fact that they're now winning with some of these guys on the shelf, is that when all these guys do come back, got to trade somebody. Get on that. Mm-hmm. Just saying, get on that.
I think there's a nominee. I think he threw his hat into the ring.
Just saying.
Real quickly, I'll say my other top sell high candidate, and then I know there's another guy you wanted to get into.
A couple guys, yeah.
I'm selling high on Big Irv. I mean, you're not going to get this production all year. I mean, next to Chris Sale, he's been the second best fantasy baseball pitcher in the league. Sporting a very neat and tidy 1.72 ERA, 37 strikeouts, a .79 WHIP. 5-1 on the season, and he's got 37 strikeouts in 47 innings, which is also unlike. I mean, when Big Irv was younger, he was missing bats, but he pitches more to contact. These numbers are going to reverse themselves.
I disagree. 100%
Really?
Disagree. Yeah, you forget he just got suspended for steroids, bro.
Right.
Why do you think he did the steroids? To be able to strike people out again.
Right.
Like he's doing right now. Like, that's why I think he can sustain this, because he took the hit for what he wanted it to ultimately do. He got suspended, what was it? It was last year or the year before for steroids. Right. Yeah, this is why this production now is the repercussions of the steroid use. The fact that he's got the arm strength back that he had. He's cycled long, and I'm sure he cycled those steroids long enough to be able to build himself up to this point. That's why you're seeing these dominant numbers again out of Irvin Santana, and I don't expect them to fall off necessarily, at least not this year.
So his numbers go up going off the juice. I don't know how that
makes sense. Because he got the muscle effect. He got the muscle building that he needed out of the juice already when he got suspended for the juice, and all he did since then was just lift weights, stay in shape. He repaired his body the way he needed it to based on the steroid use or whatever have you. Mm-hmm. And now he's reaping the repercussions of it now, because it's, he's basically a year removed from the because that was last year, if I'm not mistaken, that he was suspended.
I believe you're right. Now, I don't know, man. I mean, you got to think about what he's done versus what he's going to do, Brian. I mean, I don't see him sustaining these numbers. These numbers were even better than pre-juice, during juice, after juice. The juice is loose. He's just not going to sustain these numbers. And I don't think, maybe the Twins sustain the mild success that they've had this season. But I think them as a team catches a few L's, and he's going to be the recipient of those.
I think so, too. I mean, it's a long season. It's tough for a guy who at one point was one of the top pitchers in baseball, who's fallen off, who's gone from team to team, to really, make a huge comeback and sustain it. In a sense, I think Irvin Santana's going to pitch well for another couple months, but at some point he's going to fall off.
I mean, that's basically the season, though. If he pitches well, if he pitches to someone close to this level for a majority of the season, like that's for at least a couple more months this season, that's basically he pitched really well for a season.
Sure.
He got exactly what he wanted out of juicing last year. He's going to get another fat contract because someone's going to see the numbers, they're going to see all the strikeouts, and they're like, ooh, he's still got something left in the arm.
Well, that's why I'm saying.
Maybe that's the plan.
Sell high.
Yeah.
Sell high. And put muscle on isn't always a good thing. Just ask Noah Syndergaard. But
this is true.
I don't want to skim over your other sell high guy, because we want to play that game before we wrap up this segment.
My other sell high was Eric Thames. You know what I mean? I'm not 100. I mean, granted, yeah, I think the power is pretty legit. Like he's still gonna hit. He's gonna hit like 30, 35 home runs, but I don't think he's gonna sustain like the batting average and the on base percentage that he's got going right now. That's I think asking a little too much of a player that's really never proven it in a major league level. He proved it in Korea, but that's Korea.
Yeah. It'll be hard to keep that up.
Yeah, I mean, he's slashing right now. He's 324, 438, 731. Like, maybe the 731 he might be able to close to sustain, but I don't see the 324 and the 438. I don't see that lasting all year long. I think the power is real, but not everything else.
Right. No, agreed, man. 1,000%. Brian, if you want to rattle off any buy lows, sell highs that you may have on your list, just kind of skim through the rest of them for the peoples.
I have one more buy low.
Okay.
And this might come as a little bit of a shock, but I'm buying low on Chris Archer. Chris Archer is not the pitcher that he was. He's stuck on a team that's not giving him any run support. His location isn't the same that it was a couple years ago when he was one of the top pitchers in all of baseball. His strikeout numbers are still there. They float around between 5 or more, but the run support isn't helping, and he's pitching into too many no decisions.
Right.
He's got a 2-1 record on the year. His ERA is higher than I think it should be for the type of pitcher that he is, and his WHIP is a little too high too at a 1.21. So I buy low on Chris Archer.
And then hope that he gets traded from Tampa, and then you really enjoy
and
the
then
riches.
you really, yeah. I mean, the guy he's got it.
Like
he's
maybe
got
a little
good
trade
stuff.
to fellow AL East New York Yankees, who are definitely, they said that they're in the market for another pitcher to try to sustain the success that they're having.
I'll be honest, and this is the fanboy in me. I would love to see Chris Archer in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
because he's still young, and
yeah, but that doesn't make sense though for a team that's not ready to win to make a power move like that. Because they're not. I mean, the Phillies are a solid young team, but they're still like a year away.
Oh, no, absolutely. They're going to go crazy in free agency next year, which is going to have apparently a ton of big names. And
I don't see that. I don't see many big names. I see a couple. I don't see many. I
haven't exactly seen the list, but I know Manny Machado is going to be available.
He's not going. Well, he's probably going to. He's going somewhere, but he's not going to Philly. I'll tell you that right now. He's going to end up in Boston.
Yeah,
he probably will.
You know, I was about to blast you, Doug, saying like Chris Archer doesn't help you build for the future. He is 28. I didn't realize, he was closer to the 30 than I would have guessed, like 25, 26. Now, don't get me wrong, 28 is still young enough to where if they're ready to win in like 2 years, now you got your 30-year-old pitcher in the prime. They say 26 to 32 is your prime baseball career, so it wouldn't necessarily be a bad move. Same thing for Machado, and I know a lot of people are geeked up on that possibility or prospect of signing Machado because there's a strong need for a third baseman in Philadelphia, but you say no. Yet. Why so?
I don't see Machado going to a team that's not ready to compete right now.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's like his goal at this point in his career because he's a young guy, but he's not that young. He's played in the majors already like 6 years, so
right.
He's trying to win a ring. And if you're going to win a ring and you're going to get paid, I mean, you're instantly that's Boston, that's Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Cubs. Like those are 5 teams right off the top that are like World Series contenders and ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely.
No, I mean I agree with you wholeheartedly, but Phillies still have a lot of holes they need to fill. But to see a guy like Manny Machado, that's one less hole you got to fill.
Absolutely.
And the Phillies are going to have nobody left on the books after this year. They're going to be able to spend some money, and they'll probably offer him a contract.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Have to.
You'd be stupid, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's how bad does he want to win now, or how bad does he want to get paid?
Yeah.
That's kind of.
It's always the question
But
for
see,
every
it is. It
athlete.
really is, though.
But see, the problem is there are teams, and the bigger problem for the Phillies in terms of like a Manny Machado pursuit, there are too many teams that can pay him and are ready to compete.
No, you're right.
That's a bigger issue for
No,
them.
you're
So
right.
he's not like I would look at other stars like maybe a Ryan Braun you could bring into Philly. On like a 3-year deal and throw him a bunch of money. And at this point, knowing how he is as a person, he's probably not looking necessarily to win a championship. He's okay with just getting paid and taking the money. So he's a guy that you could target to come to Philly.
I would like that.
What else? There's a lot of different free agents available in this class. You can consider taking a stab at a Matt Harvey. He will be, he's also part of this 2018 class.
Yeah, you sign him to a 1-year deal.
You give him he's not going to sign a 1-year deal. This is Scott Boras, bro. But
Yeah, he is.
Fair enough.
Boras.
yeah, but you could sign him to a 3 or 4-year deal, with maybe a club option after the 2nd or 3rd year. Something like that. Like there's a lot of other players.
Point. I don't even think it's going to get to that point. We'll cover that later on the show. Real quick, Doug, give a little list of guys you're selling high, buying low on.
Oh man, I mean, there's quite a few different players and ways you can go at this. I'm definitely gonna sell. Obviously, he already mentioned my Chris Archer. I'm actually gonna sell high on Steven Strasburg right now. I was thinking that, yeah. I don't necessarily see him staying healthy because it's just his MO. He doesn't stay healthy. He's Steven Strasburg. I'm also going to try and buy low on John Lester. I think he's still better than what he's been showing now. And with the Cubs not really giving him much in the way of run support either right now, he's definitely a guy that you could probably get for next to nothing and still pick up probably like 12 wins down the stretch out of him, 15 wins down the stretch.
Right.
Another guy I'm buying low on is Carlos Correa, Houston Astros shortstop. I mean, he's looks like he's been a slow starter to the season, but he's also very streaky. Yeah, but he's a very streaky player. It looks like he's starting to hit a good streak for him. More importantly, though, the batting average is climbing back up for him, and the on base for that matter, because he's starting to take more walks. So
make that move now.
Yeah, that's a guy I definitely would want to scoop up now if you need him. Oh, and Josh Donaldson, by the way, definitely a great buy low candidate.
Another guy
now.
I was looking at, on the DL, hasn't done anything this year or whatever, and can come back and really support your fantasy team. A couple other guys on my list, I'm saying sell on Dylan Bundy. A lot of people are jazzed based on his, he's finally coming to fruition. He's not going to sustain earlier numbers, and they haven't actually been terrific anyway, but he's been overhyped, I believe. I definitely say you're going to sell on Danny Duffy. He has not looked like he's still got that good pedigree. He's the ace of the Royals. His last 2 starts have been very subpar. He's getting hit up a lot, so he's a guy that maybe you could sell high on before his value dips too low. I am buying Rune Odor. I mean, how can you not with that right hook?
He got a mean right hook, bro.
Absolutely.
That's Joey Batista's face.
Yep. I'm selling on Miguel Sano. I am buying Danny Salazar. I'm selling on Mark Reynolds, and I'm buying Jonathan Lucroy.
Ooh, that's a sneaky one. He's been playing like dog shit.
Yes, sir. So, well, we still got about 7-8 minutes left in the segment. Not as much time as I thought, but let's get to a little stash or pass. This is something we talked about offline. We made it our poll. Who are you stashing in fantasy baseball? That's either a prospect, an injured player, a guy that's just been underperforming, and you're stashing him, meaning that he's getting starts, but you're not going to play him until he catches his groove later on in the season, hopefully, and that's why you're stashing him away. So we gave a kind of an example of all 3 in our poll. Brian, I know your guy. You were talking Mad Bum.
I was.
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely 110% stashing Mad Bum.
Yeah.
He's got that shoulder strain. He's going to be out for 2.5 months, but if you look at his stats so far this year, win-loss record is not good. Innings pitch is about league average. He's got a 3.0 ERA. Gave up a little bit more runs than I'd like to see him give up and what he's really known for, but his strikeout numbers are still good. He's pitched a complete game. He's got a whip of 1.07.
Yep.
He's a top 3 pitcher in the league. There's no doubt about it. He's a shutdown pitcher. His trade value is absolutely ridiculous, even with this injury.
Oh, yeah.
But there is one way I do trade him, and that's if my team is in desperate need of rebuilding, if I need help in multiple areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can kind of see, like, yeah, my team's in need in multiple areas right now, but if I have a Madison Bumgarner right now, I'm stashing him.
I think you have to. I mean, we were talking about this with Mikey, too. He brought this up because he's an owner. He's an owner in a league where you get to keep 10. And he's thinking about dishing him in that league because you could potentially get back 3 pitchers that you can keep. With a 10 limit, you'd be able to keep those 3. And that's going to – I don't care if you're Bumgarner, Kershaw, Sandy Koufax, that's going to trump that value. But in a league similar to ours where it's only 3 keepers or even you're just playing in, a fresh league that with, that redrafts every season and you're playing for second half value, I think that's when you stash them. So I think it depends on the league, but I got to say stash. What do you say, Doug?
Yeah, no, you definitely. It's Mad Bum. You stash. You know what I mean. The only way you you know what I mean. You ditch on him is if you're gonna trade him for like Brian said, a few pieces to either rebuild or a few pieces because you're already a contender without him, and you're not, and you know what I mean. You're getting, you're gonna get sell high value on him still, even with being out for months. So at that point, I would trade him, but no, I'm stashing him.
Gotcha. Now your guy, David Price, you brought up for the poll.
Yep.
Where do you? I mean, I think we know where you stay on that, but why? Maybe you want to go a little more in depth.
I mean, he was a buy low candidate for me. He's also a stash candidate for me. I mean, like, if you're in a position where you need to trade a David Price because you need other things, to the same Madison Bumgarner point, like, you try and sell. You would sell. I mean, a lot of people are going to buy. A lot of people are not going to buy very high on him. So he is a sell low kind of guy. But that's to the advantage of someone like me who, believes in what I see. What I see out of the guy is a guy who's getting healthy. He had no ligament damage, which is important. There was no structural damage, which is the most important thing of what his injury was. It was basically just soreness and just elbow fatigue from pitching a lot. And the best thing he did was just rest. So I think I see a guy where he's still throwing 96, 97, 98. That's what they've been reporting from his bullpen sessions. He's getting ready to go on a rehab assignment soon.
Yeah, it depends on how well it goes today.
Yeah. So, this is a guy who could be back in the majors sometime in the next 3 weeks. He's definitely a guy that I'm stashing. If for some reason somebody dropped him and he's available on the waivers, I'm picking him up right now because he's going to be back in a few weeks.
Absolutely. I know, Brian, it's a tough question because you dished him. Does that necessarily say that you're passing on him? Not holding out for him? Or was that more for team need?
That was more for a team need. Me trading him away, but his numbers are too good. He's a great regular season pitcher. His rookie year in 2008, he had held an ERA under 2, but that was also in 5 games. One of them started. Aside from 2009, he hasn't had his ERA well over 3.5.
Right.
So, to Doug's point, he's a great regular season pitcher, and he's shown it. And he's a dominant pitcher. He gets strikeouts. He doesn't necessarily walk much. He had one really bad year with walks where he had 63, and I believe that was in 2011. He's a guy that I would stash.
Yeah.
If I didn't need to move him, I definitely would have stashed him.
Right. Well, I'm gonna flip flop. I'm gonna go. I was gonna say stash about David Price, but I want to argue the point of passing on him, and there are some legitimate reasons to pass on him, to maybe dish him. And that's what we mean pass, kind of AKA trade, drop, maybe just watch if we're talking a prospect, which I'm sure we'll get to on the other side.
Yeah.
But in regard to David Price, what did I say before? Your prime of your career in baseball is 26 to 32. He's 31. Right? You said some of the numbers. I'm not going to reiterate, but you're seeing them kind of go up a little bit and down in other areas, right? Is he still a fairly dominant pitcher in this league? Yes. Is he on a great team that can get him wins? Yes. But if I'm stashing building for the future, I see David Price beginning the decline. And I've been premature with that before. I said that about Miggy, and I ate crow about that, but I see it with Price, and you're going to see it more infect his regular season numbers to kind of be similar to his awful playoff numbers. So just me personally, I'm going to pass on David Price.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Before we pay some bills, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about Matt Harvey at the end of the show, but he was the pick that I threw up there, right? believe it or not, I mean, and people could say, well, Matt Harvey isn't Matt Harvey of old. He's still owned in 85% of leagues. So he's still a very fantasy relevant picture. He's shown flashes of his old self this year. He's also shown flashes of another version of his older self where second, third time through the lineup, he starts getting hit.
Yep.
And it definitely represents a guy that, because he had two surgeries in 2 surgeries in 3 years, you're seeing those effects, and he's got to kind of take the Justin Verlander route where you're not going to blow it past people anymore. You got to learn how to pitch. You got to learn how to locate, and he hasn't been locating well. I think his head's been all over the place, and again, we will touch on that later on in the show.
All over the place. It's been in one place, straight up his ass.
I thought you were going to say Adriano Lima's crotch. But that's another place too.
Yeah, well, yeah, all right, that's fair enough.
He's a giver. He likes to give. But But I honestly would stash Matt Harvey. I would stash Matt Harvey because he will make that adjustment. He's a collegiate athlete. He will make that adjustment, and I just don't think it's going to be in a Mets uniform. But we'll get to that.
I could see him making the adjustments in not a Mets uniform. I could see that there, but really, I'm pass.
You're passing? Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, I definitely want to ask your guys' opinion. You're passing on. You just think that we've seen the best out of the Dark Knight?
No, we haven't seen the best of the Dark Knight, but I'm passing on him. We're not going to see the best of the Dark Knight this year.
Understood. Brian?
I'm with Doug. I'm passing on Matt Harvey.
It's very popular. I threw him in there because I wanted to talk about the story, but also, because it's debatable, but like I said, I argued for stashing him. I could see why someone would pass on him, but, to each your own. We're going to get into, some other injured players. On the other side, we're going to get into some prospects, too, because we actually got some comments, and one of them commented a prospect. We definitely going to get to your comments. We're going to get to your questions. Everything and more on the other side. You're listening to Fantasy Dominance now on A2DRadio.com, being sponsored by The Soap Stash. They are the new soap standard. They want to ask you, are you going to treat your skin with the best nutrients? Are you going to feel clean with the only soap you'll ever need? The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all their products, which are 100% natural and great for your skin. So contact Soap Stash today for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can call them 844-890-3197. Look up their selection, soapstash.com. Definitely like their page on Facebook. They're dropping sales. They just had a sale where it was, you get 2 bars for $5, 3 for $10, or 3 for $7. They have the specials there, and they want you to order through their Facebook site, Soap Stash LLC. So hit them up if you want to treat your skin with the best nutrients possible. Catch you on the other side.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. If you want in on the dominance, there's only one way to do that. Well, a couple different avenues, but in general, you're going to want to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com, you get notifications when we're live. You can be part of the show, or certainly get to it after the fact. You could also tweet us with any fantasy question, any sport. We are here for you. Just tweet with the hashtag AskFDN. Who the hell are we? Brian Daly, Doug Pitchford, Rob Povia, Matt Sudi on the ones and twos. Our fourth member, Mike Kleinkoff's off this week. Going to be acing his exams today. All the best to you. He's supporting the show. Been sharing it around and while he's studying. Get back to studying. You can always share the show later. No. Share the show and then study.
Sharing the show is more important. Come on now.
No. He got it right the first time. Go study.
Hey, maybe you want to study your taxes. Maybe you got an extension that you need help with. Contact the people down at Gibson Mayer LLC. They're your certified public accountants. Give them a call. Schedule an appointment. 215-369-3300. So we were playing a little stash or pass. We didn't quite finish it, so I definitely wanted to give an avenue for maybe some other injured players that we want to stash, some other underperforming players, or some prospects. I know on Facebook we got a few people chiming in. A lot of people saying Bumgarner, certainly definitely stash worthy. Pat Amarello chimes in with a name that I was going to bring up for a prospect to stash, and that's one Yoan Moncada, who he had an inauspicious start with the Red Sox, but he is, I'm going to avoid the word stud so I don't get chastised again. But he's a great player that definitely has the means to, with 5 tools. And now on a White Sox team, going to have plenty of opportunity when they decide to call him up. So let's start with that comment. Moncada, you stashing or you passing?
First off, that was a wise decision to not say stud. Very wise decision, just saying.
Not just a hat rack, my friend.
Yo, that was that meme, yo.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank God for video. No, I'm passing. I don't think he gets up this season. I believe he's in AAA, starting year in AAA. I believe this is actually his first full season in AAA. I think the White Sox will be smart with this kid. You'll give him a full season in AAA. Give him an opportunity to compete for a job next year in spring training, but no matter what, at some point, probably next season, he will be up with the big league club. So, no, I'm not keeping him. I'm passing. I mean, unless you're in a Dynasty League. Dynasty League, he's a must-own.
Right. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think I'm passing on Moncada, too. I mean, I think it's a little too unsure whether or not he's going to be up this year. So, I mean, I'm with you, Doug. You know, let the kid play in a full season in AAA, bring him up next year, see what he does in camp, and go from there. So until then, I'm not trying to stash Moncada yet.
I mean, we take a look at his numbers. He's playing with Charlotte in AAA for the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. He's batting .345, on base of .419, a slugging of .549, and an OPS .967. These are pretty phenomenal numbers. It's not the most competitive league in AAA. I would say that would be the Pacific Coast League in terms of batting. But, I mean, still, AAA level, that is no joke. So he's put up the numbers, in the minors. Can he duplicate in the majors? So far, we haven't seen it. I think I got to stash him. And I put that with a little precursor that I may not just stash him on my lineup. I may keep a watchful eye on him. If I start to see ownership spike up, that's when I'll jump and grab him. But I ain't hating you. If you got the roster space and you want to stat, you're in a 14, 16 team league, stash you on Moncada because there's a lot of talent there. Yeah. There's a lot of talent there. So thank you, Pat Amarillo, for chiming in with that. I want to ask you guys, are there any other injured players or so on and so forth that you want to kind of throw up for the stash or pass?
All right, I got a few actually,
Cool.
because I got a few injuries across multiple leagues, and just prospects in general. I'm going to start off with a guy who I was high on this year, John Gray. Stash or pass?
I'm going to stash. And I think he's got electric stuff. It's unfortunate that he pitches in Colorado, which kind of hurts his value a little bit.
Not this year. At least not with the way they're playing.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, certainly. But I'm talking about more so you're playing 81 games, in a ballpark where the ball flies for the opposition coming in. You might even have a team that's kind of a little weak hitting, be able to put the ball out of the ballpark. I'm gonna still say stash though. I mean, whether he fulfills his career with the Rockies, he goes on to other places. If he goes to another place, more pitcher, friendly hitting park, man, even better to stash him. But he's got good stuff. I'm stashing him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna stash him too. I mean, how long is he out for?
I believe he's actually just starting to throw a baseball again, coming off of that a couple broken bones in his foot.
Okay, so he'll probably be back in about a month. Yeah, I'm stashing him.
Yeah,
I'm stashing him. He'll be back in a month. He'll be back on the mound, and
they're
doing what he does.
Yeah, they're projecting end of May, early June. So yeah, about a month he'll be back. 3 to 5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm stashing him because I'm very high. I was high on the Rockies, but to begin with, I've been high on the Diamondbacks. I think both of these teams are are quality teams that are just showing what they are now.
Legit and here to stay.
Yeah. Another guy, though, is Garrett Richards. Now, this is a little bit more interesting and a little more dicey because now you're talking about a guy with an elbow problem again, or a biceps this time, coming off of the elbow problem that he didn't have surgery on, that he elected to just have steroid treatments. I'm calling them steroid treatments.
Oh, you mean the plasma-rich infusions?
Yeah, they're steroid treatments. So he had his steroid treatments on his elbow, but now he has a biceps issue. So the question is, he's on the 60-day disabled list now. He was transferred. Stash or pass?
I'm going to pass because of the checkered injury history, and it's kind of a reason I didn't get for David Price, too, because let's not forget that he was having elbow problems as well. As soon as I hear elbow problems, and he's got to be a guy that I'm no doubt going to keep him even if he's out for a year of Tommy John, and I don't think Garrett Richards is that for me personally. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I The injury history right there alone is enough for me to pass too.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you guys. Like, I'm passing on it as well because of the injury history. Unlike David Price, though, David Price doesn't really have the extended injury history that a Garrett Richards does.
Truth.
You know, part of the reason, at least with my thinking of why I bought low on David Price, because I know the injury history is a lot different than in this case.
Sure.
Another guy I got, please, by all means, cut me off, too, because I just got a laundry list of people here. Another guy.
You get one more.
Well, all right, another guy for now that I'm gonna key on is JD Martinez. You talk about a guy who he had a plantar. They call it a plantar fasciitis injury, but I was pretty sure it was like a broken bone in his foot.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% correct.
Look at the bottom.
He still hasn't played it all this season. Still hasn't played it all this season. Did he accept?
No.
Oh.
I thought I saw John Gray available on our free agency list, and I was right.
Yes, he is there.
So you grabbed him
Not
and stashed
anymore.
him.
That's why I shouldn't open my mouth about my guy. But that's neither here nor
We're
there.
going to have to set a rule. No accessing your personal fantasy team during the show.
Yeah, for real.
All right, fine.
Please make it fair. No.
I mean, he's been there. It's not like he just got there.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I knew he was there.
I'm hating a little.
I'm hating a lot. You stole my bit. Anyway, JD Martinez, though, hasn't played it all this season. He's been ramping up baseball activities. He's probably a guy that, again, is still about 2 to 3 weeks away. So the real question is, as he's starting his rehab assignment, as he's getting ready to start his rehab assignment, are you stash or pass?
I have to say stash because I am stashing him, right? I have been stashing him all year. Drafted him in our league. The guy's power is uncanny. He's on a great lineup. The injury, albeit it kept him out for a while, not as severe as some may think. He's already, been rehabbing. He's been DHing. He's been running in the outfield, and I believe if he didn't start last night in outfield, he is starting tonight in outfield. So him, like Price, very close to coming back. So you won't have to stash for too long, and I mean he could instantly be your number 2 outfielder on your team from the DL. So I gotta say stash.
I'm 100% with you. You got to stash a player like that. He's good. He's coming off of the last couple of seasons of breaking 50, 60 home runs, 160 some RBIs in the last 2 years. His offensive production is really good, and he's still a really young player. He's only been in the league
he's not
6
that young.
years. Well, 28. He's 29 this year, but
In the prime.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely stash him.
I mean, obviously, I say this because I am stashing him. You know what I mean? Clearly. That's why I brought his name up. But I'll bring up one more guy, and this guy's a prospect. Ian Happ, Chicago Cubs prospect, second base prospect, their top offensive prospect. I believe he's actually top 3 prospect in all of baseball as well, or top 10 prospect at this point.
Second base, right?
He's second base eligible. He's second baseman currently. He is playing the outfield with AAA Iowa. His slash lines this season, 271, 364, 469 with 7 home runs at AAA Iowa. Stash or pass?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to pass, and I'm going to pass by saying I'm keeping a watch on him. I'm not going to pick him up and stash him. If I have him on a deep league team, maybe that'd be the only way that I would stash him. But I'm going to pass for one reason. He's going to have a little bit of a road to get into a starting position for the Chicago Cubs playing second base. Maybe the outfield eligibility may accelerate that process, but I mean, you already have Zobrist at second. That's been hitting very well this year. Of course, he'll get some time off, but when he's getting time off, it's Javier Baez. And Javier Baez is a great add for your team if he played every day.
Yeah.
He's backing up a lot of different positions. But I mean, he could still in a deeper league and still be an asset to your team. So that's already 2 guys that, Zobrist won't be for that long, but then you got Baez. Unless he can develop into an outfielder or they want to develop Baez into an outfielder and bring in Ian Happ, I think that's a long process, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I agree. I'd pass for every reason you just said.
And
Also
I
because
nailed
I
it.
don't really know much about him, so.
And
I
see,
nailed it.
but see, for every reason you just said is why I'm going to stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, for every reason you just said. Because Ian Happ will never see the field for the Chicago Cubs. Because Ian Happ will not be a Chicago Cub when he plays in the majors this
Oh,
season.
wow, okay.
Like, you forget. We just mentioned how their pitching staff has been subpar.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the struggles of a John Lester. We didn't even mention the struggles of Kyle Kendricks, the struggles of a John Lackey. This team
Arrieta,
needs
too.
Arrieta for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arrieta is nowhere close to the guy he was the first half of last season. He hasn't even been a sprinkle.
I knew that was coming with all the
Like
innings,
assault.
man. With
Oh
all
yeah,
the innings. I knew it.
They wore him down. They just beat him down.
Yeah.
But no, this team needs a starting pitcher. This team's going to need a quality starting pitcher. And you know what I mean. There's a few out there. You know, there are some teams that are struggling that have decent starters. So I would expect him to probably be the starting second baseman for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays before the end of 2017 is over.
I like how you call them Devil Rays.
Yeah, I'll still call him the Devil Rays.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, hello Rays. Here's your new second baseman. Maybe even the Pods too. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nah, Pods don't have Chris Archer though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his boy too.
Yeah.
Like he loved Chris Archer.
Yeah.
That was his guy. He'll go get him.
I'll bring up a name that I know, Brian, you're familiar with, and this is a guy that I've teetered on back and forth because I'm weak in catching in both of my leagues. Do you stash or pass Wilson Ramos? Especially since he may have some DH spots along, you know, as he builds up his knee for catching-wise, even when he does come back.
I mean, coming off the season that he had last year, I would want to say stash. But I don't know. I might pass.
Yeah?
I might pass because I think I haven't heard any updates on when he'll be back, so it's still unclear when his return's going to be.
Right.
So I mean, obviously, you know, you're gonna have him. You're gonna get really good offensive production out of him. You're gonna get the power. He can hit for average. He's a good all-around hitter. But it's just a question of when does he return?
Right.
How long are you gonna have to wait? How long you have to stash him for?
Right.
I know that I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I know he's not owned in my Yahoo league. I don't think he's owned in our league.
No, I know he's not owned in our league.
Yeah, so I mean,
You got him on the watch list, too?
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
My boy.
I pass on him just because of the uncertainty of when he's going to return.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I'm watching him. You know, it's too ambiguous when he'll come back. I think in leagues that have a DH spot, like Mike's league, that would be where I would stash.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy that you can definitely, if you have the DL spots available, you can pick him up and stash. I'm just passing in general though, even though I have in this league I don't have a DL spot available because I have too many injured players already.
Mm-mm.
But if I did have the spot available, I still wouldn't put him in it just because it's me personally. I don't like rostering guys that to Brian's point, with no certainty of a timetable for a return.
Right.
You know, it's not even like he's starting to throw a baseball or starting to run or do any real baseball-like activities. He's kind of just stretching and jogging and hitting weights. So, like, I'm good. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
want
still
that.
basically going through physical therapy in
Yeah.
a sense. So.
Yeah, it's all he's doing is physical therapy. I'm good on that.
Getting back to the prospect talk, I'll fire another name out at you guys. Ahmed Rosario. Do you stash or pass?
I stash because I know he's just gonna hit his way onto this team. He's too good. His bat's too good. Jose Reyes is too old and slow.
Yeah, Cabrera, you know, we thought he was going to be done for months. He was actually pitch hit last night.
That's
He's
insane.
like the true rubber man of this team. But both, I'm glad you brought up Reyes, also Cabrera. Their contracts both, you know, they both have a club option for next year. Reyes is at $22.5 million. Yeah, ridiculous, right? Cabrera's at $8.25 million. Now, of course, you can decline the option and sign him to a lesser deal. But I think in either event, they're not keeping both because Ahmed Rosario, all he's doing in AAA, and this is the Pacific Coast League for the Las Vegas 51s. He's batting .373, slugging .517, on-base plus slugging .934. Kid's legit.
That's gross. Those are video game numbers.
Yeah, definitely. So I would certainly stash as well. What do you say, Brian? Stash or pass?
I may consider stashing him. Like you guys said, he's hitting the ball well in the Pacific Coast League, and he seems to be closer to playing every day in the major leagues than some of the other guys that we've brought up. And it seems more of a certainty too.
Right.
Now, I do got one other prospect, and you know what I mean? This is a guy that we've talked about at length, and I tried to draft him. You did off me, you bastard, after I told you about him, you bastard.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, you do remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me after the fact. I did my own research for Rowdy Tellez.
Mm-hmm. Likely story.
I saw his name, Hot Rod. It attracted me.
I'm sure.
Rowdy Piper. Come on now.
Yes, but Rowdy Tellez, first base prospect, DH prospect for the Toronto Blue Jays. With as sorry as they've been playing this year, I do think he's going to see some major league playing time. But the real question is, stash or pass?
I am stashing him in the 16-team league, and that's specific for that league.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm passing because I don't see him, even though they have a need for a first baseman. Justin Smoke is garbage. You know, you traded away Edwin Encarnacion, or he signed with the Indians. Tellez, he's slashing just 198, 298, and 333 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs through 21 games in AAA Buffalo. Not great numbers. Now's the time where he could really be knocking on the door, and he's not. So he's a guy I'd keep a watchful eye on. I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass too.
Even though I am stashing him, I'm going to tell you all to pass him. I mean, if you're in a deep league, I think you have to.
No, yeah. That changes the parameters of everything. You know, deep leagues, you know, dynasty leagues, things like that. But
with those type of leagues, the last 2 names I want to mention, because we definitely got to get to ads. Guys that aren't on a Major League Baseball roster right now in terms of prospects, but are very highly touted. Shohei Ohtani from the Nippon Japanese Baseball League, and Hunter Green pitching for Notre Dame. These are both guys that can do it on the mound and are phenomenal hitters that are really going to change the landscape of this game. Maybe finally get pitchers getting rewarded for hitting stats for fantasy baseball. Let's go. Are these guys that you can stash at this point, even though they're not with a Major League Baseball team, or do you pass because of it?
Not in a normal league. No, you have to pass on both. You have to pass on both in a normal league, because it's not to be set in stone even that Hunter Green is going to be in the major. How long it's going to take Hunter Green to get to the majors too. You know, like in dynasty leagues, yeah, you can consider if you're able to pick up both and you have the roster space and whatnot, and you can do it in a dynasty format. Absolutely, I probably would do it for both.
Right.
Definitely for Ohtani, though.
Right.
Maybe not necessarily for Hunter Green, because, again, you're talking about a kid who's, 20 years old?
He's a senior in college, so
21?
Yeah.
21, 22?
Yeah, it should be right about there. It's not saying it here on this prospect. I mean, but these numbers are filthy, though. He's got a .75 ERA. He's got 43 Ks in 28 innings, and a 902 FP, and that's pitching. Batting, he's batting .333.
It's not bad.
25 ribbies, 5 home runs on the season. I mean, these are phenomenal numbers. And
not bad at all.
You look at Shohei Ohtani in the Japanese league. His last, looking back at, I could look back at batting wise for this season so far. He's batting .407.
Just only 407?
Yeah, 1.284 OPS. He had last year for a complete season. He had 22 homers and 67 RBIs. And then last year pitching, because I assume he just hasn't pitched yet this year for what is this team? This is Nippon. The Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. I love their names. That's why I had to look that up.
Ham Fighters.
Ham Fighters.
That is great.
Last year, he had a 1.86 ERA. He had 174 Ks and 140 innings.
Go Ham Fighters.
And his whip, .957.
Yeah, that's pretty filthy, man. I mean,
these are sick numbers to ignore, but I mean, I hear you.
You can't in normal, not for nothing, in a regular dynasty format. These players are not helping you this year whatsoever. It's literally a waste of a roster spot. In a dynasty format, makes a lot more sense to add probably Ohtani. I would hold off on Hunter, because he is, even though he is only 21, 22, he's that dominant. That's still college.
So you're holding on Ohtani, you're passing on Green.
Correct.
Right. What do you say, Brian?
I'm going to pass on both, only because neither one of them are in the league yet. Neither one of them are on a major league roster, and what are the chances that they actually wind up over here? I mean, Hunter Green, we don't know. Has he even been drafted?
The draft is like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he probably will get drafted then, but
He definitely did.
It's just too much risk involved. He may not he puts up great numbers, but who's to say he wants to play Major League ball?
right.
So I mean, too much risk involved.
I got you. To be argumentative, I say stash both. So I like to stash my shit. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'm definitely stashing is this business card I got from the BMW of Atlantic City dealership. They sponsored the studios that we broadcast from here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. But what also they did is they challenged its sales team, and they must sell 100 vehicles, which means one thing. You save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off of exit 37 on the Garden State Parkway, or check them out online, bmwatlanticcity.com. On the other side, I promise, our weekly dose of waiver wire ads for fantasy baseball. You are listening to Fantasy Dominance Now here on a2dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, a2dradio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. Being sponsored by Liberty Event Rentals for all your party needs. Give them a call, 267-314-7368. Look them up online, libertyeventrentals.com. If you want in on the dominance, you got to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com. If you got fantasy questions for us, hit us up. You can tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN. You can comment on the YouTube chat. We'll get to your questions live on air. Who are we? Well, Brian Daly, Doug Pitchford, Rob Povia, and Madison on the ones and twos. So we got to get to our weekly dose of the waiver wire for fantasy baseball. And, you know, I'm going to start with a guy that is a little bit up in the air right now. He was hit over the weekend in his foot, and he sat out Sunday with that sore foot. But with an off day today, I think he will start tonight, and that's Marwin Gonzalez for the Houston Astros. He's leading the team in homers. He's first base, third base, and outfield eligible. He's only owned in 54% of leagues, and that's up 51% this week. So he was owned in 3% previous to this week. So he is a hot commodity. Like I said, he is day-to-day. So if you're replacing an injured player, you want to kind of monitor, see if he's starting tonight. Get a report. I'll see right now if that has been announced as of yet, but I think he will start. I think they just had to give it a day. They haven't said anything of it. They're keeping it tight-chested. But, I think he's a good ad. Very good ad.
I think so, too. I've seen him getting swooped up in leagues.
I'm holding out judgment. I was actually going to pick him up yesterday, but the only reason I didn't was because of the injury. I want to see what happens with that before. So I would tentatively – there's a tentative ad. I mean, just watch his health. Like, you don't want to pick up a guy and then have him immediately go on the disabled list. Like, that sucks. That's just a waste.
Yeah, it would be a waste, certainly. But, I mean, they're just classifying it as a sore left foot. He probably just got a bad bruise from getting hit with a fastball in the foot. So
more than likely.
But, I agree with you. Monitor his health. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You guys have any other first basemen or otherwise on the offensive side?
Actually, I do have a first baseman. I'm going to say, and he's probably owned in most leagues, is Eric Hosmer of the Royals. I know he's available in our league. I personally dropped him because I didn't like his production, and his production's starting to come around now. 10 for 23 in his last 7 singles, a double, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. He's walked 4 times, struck out 3 times. He's got hits in 11 of his last 12 games.
Nice. I knew that was going to come. I mean, he had a slow start, but as the weather gets warmer, so does his bat.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
Absolutely.
He definitely heats up with the weather. I mean, I got another first baseman for you. He's a younger prospect player. I don't know what the Dodgers are going to do with him once Adrian Gonzalez comes back from the disabled list, but Cody Bellinger's been crushing baseballs, bro. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. More importantly, 8 strikeouts to 5 walks across 46 at-bats. All dude does crush baseballs, bro. 7 of his 15 hits are gone for extra bases, with the 5 home runs that I mentioned before. Like, he's a dude that's definitely worth the pickup right now. He's swinging a great bat. He's in the lineup every day. I mean, again, like, it's going to be hard to take him out of the lineup if he keeps swinging like this. So
I hear you, but injury may, a recovery from injury may, because he's filling in for Adrian Gonzalez.
Right, who wasn't swinging a good bat, by the way, before he left with injuries. So
right, if he continues to swing a hot bat, kind of a la Michael Conforto, they'll find a way to put him into the lineup, so he can still, be a very good ad. But playing time may come into question there a little bit.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why I went with Marwin over him.
Right. No, that's fair. I mean, but the production's real. I like what I've seen so far. Like, if he continues to keep it up, because he was the Dodgers' top hitting prospect currently in the minor league system. So if he keeps swinging like this, I mean, Adrian Gonzalez is probably going to be looking for a job elsewhere.
Absolutely. Moving on to the keystone position, second base. I'm going to go Colton Wong. He's a guy that I've always been high on, has been up and down with the Cardinals. He's only 13% owned, and he's currently on a 12-game hit streak right now. So he's streaking. Let's go streaking with him through the quads and pick him up off the Fantasy Baseball Waiver Wire.
And then maybe we'll go to KFC after.
Oh, it's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous.
That was good. I'm going to go with the Swiss Army knife that we mentioned earlier in the show, and that's Javier Baez. He's just been on a tear, especially through his last 7, going 9 for 25, 2 home runs, 6 RBI. 4 extra base hits over that span across those 9 hits. In points leagues, he's got 33.5 points over that last 7, which is good for 5.6 points an outing.
Brian, put the phone down.
I'm not. I'm working some trade talk here.
Don't you add him. Don't you
I'm
do
not.
that.
I'm working trade talk here.
All right. That's my guy.
Yeah, right.
This to replace Reyes when he slows down.
Sneaky bastard.
Man, but no, I'm with you, man. I'm solid. 'Cause I mean, even though he's not a per se starter, he is getting regular at bats. So I mean, if you're in a 10-team league, that's why I haven't swooped him up yet, because I need a guy that off the bench that I know he's starting every day. But anything above that, a 12-team league and up, I think if Baez is available, you got to swoop him up.
I mean, with the way his bat's swinging right now, he is basically been in the lineup every day. So I'm just playing him. I'm picking him up to play him anyway. I think that he's played his way into the lineup right now, at least while he's hot. Once he cools off, obviously, you're going to have to look elsewhere again. But
Truth. Brian?
My last guy I got here, since my other guy got taken, is Escobar of the Angels.
Yes.
He's on a little bit of a hot streak himself. 11 out of the last 27 in the last 7 games, 8 singles. He's got a double, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He struck out 3 times and walked twice. So his bat's starting to come around a little bit.
Nice.
Starting to catch a little bit of heat.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're all on the same wavelength here. Another great ad. If this guy did get dropped in your leagues, and he may have, definitely not in leagues that have DH availability, but otherwise, Ryan Healy right now is hot. He's got a 3-game homer streak and just continues to heat up. He's owned in roughly 24% of leagues right now, so he'd be a guy, if there's any commodity out of Oaktown to grab, I'm grabbing Ryan Healy.
fair.
Yeah.
For the third base position.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Marwin Gonzalez, also third base eligible, would be an ad for this spot if you needed a third baseman. Josh Harrison's another guy, too, second third base eligible. Is a great guy.
Yeah.
It's a great guy for this spot if you need a third baseman that's going to be productive. He's been subpar in his last 7, but all in all, I mean, he's had a pretty good stretch to the season so far.
The 14 before that, I actually caused me to start him over D. Gordon, and he was absolutely red hot. Had like 2 homers in a game not too long ago. There's a bit of injury talk that might be slowing down, his offensive numbers. I'm just bringing that up right now. He, of course you don't talk about that. You bastard. But I know
he has a foot issue.
Yeah, he came. He had a sore foot. That's what it was. He had a sore foot that caused him to be pulled prematurely from a game on Sunday. I didn't wind up starting him this week in a weekly league because whenever there's that ambiguous injury, Sunday night into Monday, you don't get started. I mean, you can't afford to zip, a goose egg in one position for the week. But as long as his health checks out, it looks like they took the little red flag away from him. So we're looking good. We're looking good. So, Josh Harrison's another great pickup. For the shortstop position, I'm looking at Tim Beckham, for the Tampa Bay Rays. I was about to say Devil Rays like yourself.
They are the Devil Rays. Don't fucking sleep.
He's 17% owned in ESPN leagues, 20% owned in Yahoo leagues. It's just... every single position player for the Rays is really performing. I like that offense as a whole. But Tim Beckham has really thrived from, they traded away Logan Forsythe, who he's definitely a guy that I would certainly hold on for right now, even though he's on the DL. Brad Miller's now in Seattle, so the starting gig is what for surely his. But just reading through here, he has a 3.6% home run rate, and he's been increasing his fly ball rate really ever since that. His power could be very much legit.
Oh no, his powers definitely can be legit. Excuse me. My concern with him is just the contact. I want to see a more consistent contact rate. I want to see him cut down to strikeouts. He strikes out way too much.
Yeah,
but
it is right. That's a commonality in this day and age.
I know the guys just strike out way too much. But a guy that doesn't strike out way too much that you can add at shortstop is a guy I did way earlier ago, Zach Cozart. 9 for his last 22 over his last 7. That's a home run, 4 RBIs. He has 4 walks and 4 strikeouts over that stretch. Only owned in 59.6% of leagues, so he is available in a lot of leagues, and that's kind of surprising because in points leagues he's third among shortstops. He's the third ranked shortstop. He scored the third most points in points leagues at the position.
Absolutely.
And owned in less than 60% of leagues. It's kind of absurd.
Getting a few comments. We got Mike Mataraki chiming in. He said he's stashing Hamels, King Felix, Paxton, and Volquez. Any of those guys you disagree with?
I disagree with the last two, I think. Who was it? Volquez? Definitely
and
not.
James Paxton.
It depends on the injury, but with his injury history, I might not stash him.
Yeah, that's truth. I mean, I agree with you on Volquez. I mean, he's weak as dog food. I don't know what that means, but it's pretty weak. James Paxton can be a dynamite pitcher in this league. He had a great season last year. Has a more improved lineup to support him with runs. He's a guy I'd have to think about stashing because he treated me so well last year, and definitely yes with the other two with King Felix and Hamels.
Oh, absolutely, stash Hamels and King Felix. They're two proven pitchers in this league. They're starting to come out of their prime a little bit. You're going to see their production decrease, but they're still two big names in this league, and they're proven commodities. So, yeah, you have to stash them.
I mean, maybe not King Felix necessarily. You could tell that he's starting to he really is starting to fall off a little bit, a la Verlander. But I do hold out hope that he can reclaim that form a la Verlander.
Yeah.
Certainly.
But that's time.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting back to some other ad recommendations for the outfield, I'm going to go, and I know this is going to make one Brian Daly pretty happy. I'm going to advocate grabbing Aaron Altair. He's 13% owned in leagues, and he's just been an absolute tear over the past week.
He has, but his only problem is he hasn't been starting consistently. Most of the hits that he's been getting lately has been because he's been in a pinch hit role.
Right, true. Yeah, only 17 at-bats in the last 7.
Yeah, I mean, his last at-bat, he had a huge 3-run home run, but he doesn't see the field consistently.
I just like his walk-to-K rate. It's very good. It's virtually 1-to-1. Certainly can add a little speed on the base pass as he has 1 stolen base the last 7 days. 7-4-17 in those last 7 days.
Yeah.
So, certainly, maybe for deeper league ads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Deeper 14, 16-team leagues, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, obviously, again, Marwin Gonzalez, again, eligible also in the outfield. He's just a super utility guy. He's awesome. If you can, once he's healthy, if you can grab him, I would immediately because he just helps you in many, 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 many different places. Obviously, we've talked at great length about Michael Conforto as an ad in the outfield. Michael Conforto, great ad if you can still get him, even though he's now owned in 77.5% of leagues. Wow, that's a big jump. He jumped up almost 30% in the past week. So people are definitely buying what we're selling.
I mean, he's getting regular time with Cess out, and even when Cespedes comes back, he may see a lion's share of starts in center field. They might shift Grandy over to right, put Bruce at first. If Duda's back, it might be Granderson that sees the bench in this equation, unless he can get hot. He always starts off cold. So if he has his traditional, okay, it's May, it's June, it's time to hit, then that could cut into his playing time a little bit. But I don't see it. I don't see how you could sit down a 370 batting average right now.
No, you can't sit down a 370 batting average, but you can't sit Granderson either because Granderson is probably, by all accounts, your best defensive outfielder. That's a regular in terms of the bat in the lineup.
I like Conforto's defense too, man. I mean, I know as a prospect, he said that was his liability, but all he's done is make plays, make good throws home, cut off balls in the gap. I don't think you're losing that much. Excuse me, 325 batting average. Pardon me.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a little
same
high.
difference. Same difference. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you that Conforto is probably going to continue to see regular playing time as long as he continues to hit.
Absolutely.
And he's been hitting the cover off the ball lately. I think he's only had 2 or 3 games that he hasn't had a hit in the last 12.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Getting on base.
I mean,
in
he's
that
been
leadoff
on-
position.
He's been consistently in my lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I bumped Andrew McCutchen for him. And I hate to do that, but, you're talking a 90% owned guy, but McCutchen's not playing like McCutchen, and I don't know if he ever will again.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be in his prime right now.
Well, I think that's a guy where playing through injuries is really taking a toll on him physically, and you can see that with his performance a la Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah, a lot of people get absolutely. I mean, a lot of people give praise to guys that are tough and battle through injuries, but sometimes the smart move can be to nurse that injury for longevity, for not just for yourself, but for your team.
Absolutely. I mean, case in point, Ryan Zimmerman the last few years, just couldn't stay healthy. David Wright, after, another guy who played injured and played through things, and now look at him now, he's a cripple, and then
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then Andrew McCutchen, where's his talent? His talent's gone.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Let's shift over to the pitcher side of our ad recommendations. I'm going to start with a 2-start pitcher, and he's really my 2-start pitcher of the week. And that's Matt Andres from the Tampa Bay Rays. He's playing the Kansas City Royals tonight, and he's at Boston on Sunday. He's 13% owned, so he is available in your leagues. And it's really a light 2-start pitcher week when it comes to potential waiver wire options. So investing in Andres, I think, can really pay off. The Rays righty has notched a quality start in 3 of his past 4 outings and has a favorable matchup on tap versus a Royals team that ranks last in the majors in runs scored, batting average, and OPS. Although starting Andres at Fenway Park, against what's a dangerous Red Sox offense, but that has been sputtering a little bit and has underperformed so far this season. Placing 27th in runs and 19th in OPS. I would start him with confidence in all formats.
I could see that.
I would pick him up for this 2-start week. If you're in a deeper league, you can hold on to him, especially with an SPRP situation in some leagues. But I think for any league 12 and under, you pick him up for the 2-star, and then you send him back to the waiver wire.
Yeah. This guy that I'm going to recommend for this week for a 2-star week is a semi-different outlook to this. Very similar, great, very strong 2-star week. But he's actually a guy that you're going to hang on to for the move forward because he's a guy that's just came back off of injury. AJ Griffin for the Texas Rangers. Starts tonight at San Diego and then has a start Sunday at home versus Oakland. 2 very favorable matchups with 2 very soft-hitting teams.
Former team, too.
Yeah.
Revenge game.
And the revenge game in Oakland, so he's going to be hyped for that. And most guys, when they go back for the revenge game at home, usually dominate.
It's such a shame what happened to him, man. I had high expectations, and you know this.
Oh, so did I. He's a very good player, man. He's a very good pitcher. He showed a lot of promise, and then he just can't stay healthy now.
Yeah.
But when he's healthy, he's still really good. He's a strong start to this year for certain. 3.54 ERA now, coming off of 5 strong innings, 5 innings, 1-run ball with 7 strikeouts against the Astros at home last week.
Do you just stream him for this 2-star week, or
No. He's a hold. Yeah, no, he's an ad. Obviously 3.54 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, and he's 3-0 on the season with 23 strikeouts to 20 innings pitched.
Okay.
20 and a third innings pitched with 23 strikeouts. No, he's an ad. He's a hold. Like, you add him and hold.
Right.
Only owned in 29.3% of leagues, up 19.2%. And that's in less than a week because I remember when I grabbed him, people were still dropping him.
We're ahead of the curve here on the show. This isn't a big surprise. This isn't a big surprise at all.
It's not. He's not a 2-start pitcher this week, but I would strongly recommend Scott Feldman from the Reds. He's coming off a great game against San Francisco where he pitched a 4-hit shutout, walked 1, struck out 5, and he did get the complete game.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's coming off a good game. See if he can build off it and get some consistency going here. I mean, he's had a few good starts, but he needs to become a little more consistent.
Oh, absolutely, man. I have him on my list, too. He's actually pitching against that same Giants team on Friday, and he's only 7% owned let's face facts. We saw it last night, Doug. Giants offense is struggling, only 20 runs over the past week, which is tied for last in the MLB with a team slash line of 224, 281, 325, and 607. Absolutely putrid. Normally, I don't like to start pitchers back like they just saw him. So usually, if he did well that first game, he's going to hit this game. Don't believe in that back-to-back start curse in this situation. I think he dominates the Giants again.
I think so too, especially with the offensive sputtering that the Giants have had, and it's just been like your word you used was perfect. Is putrid.
Putrid, yeah, absolutely putrid. Guy that's not been putrid, I think, and is also a 2-start week, but you could stream him for either at Philadelphia tonight or at Toronto on Sunday. Ariel Miranda. I mean, the kid's legit. He's pitched, I believe, 4 quality starts in his last 5. I think he's a guy that I would stream for either the 2-start week or even just the matchup at Toronto. That's been another offense that's been sputtering. Really quick too. Aside, you notice the 4 teams that we put in that poll preseason: Giants, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Rangers, all struggling. Just saying, we kind of know what we're talking about here.
Just a little bit. By the way, I think I did still say Arizona was a beast.
Yes, you did. Let's puff a little bit.
God.
But yeah, I'm adding. I'm not just streaming Aaron Miranda. I'm adding. I have added him. I don't even know why I say I am. I already have. I may not keep him in our 10-team league, but he's a definite keeper in the 16 and in deeper leagues.
Yeah. I got one more guy for a 2-start week if you're really hurting. The first start of this 2-start's a little iffy, but he's been pitching pretty well. Tim Adelman, Cincinnati Reds starter, pitches tonight against CC Sabathia in the Bronx, and then has another start Sunday on the road at San Francisco, which is a very favorable matchup. San Francisco, one of the worst offensive teams in all of baseball, one of the worst teams in all of baseball, period, right now. But yeah, I really like Tim Adelman's 2-start week, even against a strong Yankees lineup. I'm not uberly scared of the matchup. He was strong earlier. He was strong a few weeks ago against the Cubs on the road in Chicago. Went 6 strong, allowing 2 runs, 6 base runners, and striking out 7. So, with seeing a stat line like that against another great offensive team in a great hitter's ballpark, I think Tim Adelman will be all right and better than serviceable in this spot. So I think it's a great 2-start week and a sneaky 2-start week because a lot of people will be scared to play him.
Right. Oh, no, 100%, dude. I couldn't agree with you more. A couple other guys I'll rattle off before we pay some bills. Daniel Norris, I say you add him, you stream him at Los Angeles on Saturday because he's only 16% owned, and you keep a hold of him because he's beginning that meteoric rise that I saw for him in preseason. The Angels are 23rd in runs scored and have a team slash line of 240, 308, 365, and 673. Makes for a good start this week, and like I said, you can hold on to him. Hector Santiago, your pitcher, Brian, at Cleveland on Sunday, 25% owned. At Cleveland might scare some people away, but because they're about mid-pack offense overall this year, but Cleveland ranks 25th in the majors with a .636 OPS versus left-handed pitching. So certainly a left-handed crafty guy from Newark, Hector Santiago. Definitely feel free to stream him.
Jersey.
Deeper leagues, Mike Montgomery. He should be filling in for Brett Anderson on Friday at St. Louis, which was only a matter of time that he was going to take over his rotation spot because Brett Anderson can't stay healthy.
And Brett Anderson's also ass, but that's neither here nor there.
And, the Cards lineup has been underperforming this year. They have been showing signs of life lately, but Sweeps from Agree to Disagree, who's a big Cards fan, says that there's something rotten in Denmark with the Cardinals, and he doesn't even want to talk about them. So I think there's definitely things amiss. You can take advantage of a team like that. We have a little experience there, Doug. Mike Montgomery's only 5% owned and has great K potential. Absolutely great K potential. He's pitching at Los Angeles on Saturday. And in case I didn't say it, Hector Santiago's at Cleveland on Sunday. So we got through our ads. Definitely if we spoke too fast, it's great on YouTube. You can just chime back, write those names down, or hop on your fantasy team, hop on your DraftKings or Fanduel list, play some of these guys, win yourself some money. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Now, I want to tell you guys before we hit the break about Soap Stash, the new soap standard. The stash is overflowing with more products ever to choose from right now. It says it right on their Facebook site. I'm reading it verbatim. that it's more than trend. I like how we got like stash or pass, smokes, soap.
I get it.
Little commonality. It's great soaps. I use them myself, people. I've never felt more clean after a shower using their bar soaps, but they got more than that. Shampoos, beard oils, all your cosmetic needs, men, women, children, they have it all covered. Go hit them up, soapstash.com, Soapstash LLC on Facebook, or you can give them a call at 844-890-3197. Go be a part of the new soap standard. On the other side, we're talking about the Dark Knight of Gotham and his stupidity. You're listening to Fantasy Dominance now here on A2DRadio.com.
Wait, we're talking about Batflack?
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet. Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2Dradio.com.
Welcome back to today's Fantasy Dominance, now only on A2Dradio.com. If you're just joining us, where the hell you been, man? You missed out on so much. We talked about buy low, sell high candidates in fantasy baseball. Play a little game called Stash or Pass. You know, guys that you're going to hold on to the future, or you're going to pass on. Maybe you're going to trade, you're going to drop, you're going to, I don't know, maybe even just keep a watchful eye on. It was a fun game. You can go back to the beginning of it, and wow, I'm having a hard time talking right now. Yeah, sometimes it's easier said than done. On you want to get into sports talk radio? There's a lot of gadgets to fiddle with in the background. But anyway, we talked about that. You can go back to the beginning. You can stay with us live. You can rewatch us after we're done with the show at 2 p.m. At 3 p.m., we got a brand new hockey happy hour. Yours truly, Brian Daly and Madison, who's producing today's show. Doug Pitchford joining us for FDN. And like I said, it's been a rip-roaring show. We talked about Matt Harvey in our Stash or Pass game, and he's one of our poll recipients. A huge story in baseball over the weekend was Matt Harvey being suspended for 3 days without pay for violating team rules. And for those of you who don't know, reportedly not confirmed by the team, Harvey was not at the ballpark for Saturday night's game against the Marlins and did not return calls or texts after the Mets from the Mets after initially saying he was golfing in the morning and had migraines as a result. You know, you see David Wright, who had neck surgery and is back in that clubhouse, back on that bench, or sitting out in the in the bullpen for a while with a freaking broken neck, but you have migraines. Okay. I think it was more likely he was chasing Adriana Lima around, who's been dogging him, or maybe he was already in hot water for being the top suspect with the rally dildo in Kevin Polecki's locker that we were able to see on social media. I hope that guy got fired because, hey, we could do that job. But he didn't find out he was suspended until he came to the ballpark on Sunday and has filed a grievance. Now, he didn't know because he said he reached out to the Mets, letting them know that he wasn't going to be making he was ill, right? But other reports are like Dan Worthen texted him, the pitching coach of the Mets, and that was his response. And then after that, they kept on saying, well, look, come in. You got to report to the trainer, Ray Ramirez. He just absolutely ignored it all. He said he was asleep. He went back to sleep. A lot of he said type of bullshit going on with this. It's just been a clusterfuck, and certainly with a Mets organization that has been, scuffling with all these mishandled injuries and everything. This is the last thing really that the Mets needed. So I don't know. I take it as a guy that's acting like a teenager, right? That knew he did something wrong, wanted to get out of work, and just leaves a little phone message on the recorder in the morning saying, I can't come in today, and then avoids all contact. He has no accountability. We've seen that during his time with the Mets, because this is not the first time Harvey's been late or missed practice. During an off-day practice during the 2015 postseason, he missed. It's been a reoccurring story. So what I want to ask you guys is Matt Harvey a prima donna who needs to go?
Yes.
I mean, is that really much of a question? I mean, yeah, he's got to go. Like, he thinks he's Nolan Ryan already. Like, he's like Roger Clemens or something. Like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, You're not showing up for games and meetings. Like, dude, like, you know what I mean? You're not Allen Iverson, bro. You can't not show up for practice, okay? Like, you have to show up for practice. You're not that good, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You're not Kershaw. You're not Mad Bum. You're not any of these guys because they've all got something you don't besides a set of nuts, and that's a ring. Like, man up, do something. Do something, and then you can talk about, what I mean, not showing up here or there because you're the man.
Right.
And the man, you get a little extra leeway because you're the man. But you ain't shit. Like, I don't understand this.
Well, I think that's why the Mets didn't fine him and they suspended him because there has been a little reoccurrence of this, one. And two, even if there wasn't a reoccurrence, what message are you sending your full squad when one guy gets preferential treatment because he's the man, whereas somebody else gets the book thrown at him? I like how they suspended him because it sends a clear message to not only the player but the team. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. There's rules and regulations. And of all people, Jose Reyes came out and defended that point. It's like, look, there's requirements. This is a job. You know, a lot of people ignore the fact because it's a sport, because they're playing a game. It's still a job like no other. But, I mean, from Harvey's standpoint, it's said by and I'm getting this from an awesome John Heyman article wrote about why the Dark Knight needs to go. And he talked about how the Mets sent security over to his apartment at about 10 o'clock because he wasn't responding to calls or texts. Harvey thinks it was the Mets not trusting him. And trying to, you know, what a teenager would think, right? If your star player texts you and maybe even just text you back and had to respond and then doesn't hit you up at all, right? This is New York, baby. He could be being held hostage. You don't know.
Yeah.
So they sent over security guys just, hey, are you okay? You know, he asked him a lot of questions. He seems like he was really on the defensive in regards to that, but you know, I don't know. It's a sticky situation. I would have just taken the suspension without the grievance. I mean, I get it. He thinks he's been slighted. I'm trying to get to this one point. Yeah, he said to those close to him, Harvey that is, that he's under the belief it's preferable not to come to work when you're ill and having a starting assignment set for the next day, and that instead he's been singled out when the club's higher-ups' mood has been soured in recent days by injuries to several players. So he's saying that they're already touchy, and now they're making an example of me, and he's pissed off about it and filing grievance, which is, you know, per the players' union, that is up to you. But, I mean, you're already further distancing yourself in that clubhouse, and not a lot of people – nobody came up to bat for him. Nobody. And that says a lot.
Well, I mean, there's multiple reports out there now of Harvey being out until 4 a.m. on Saturday night partying. So
yeah, I was about to.
They all think it's all tied together. And
oh, dude, of course it's all tied together.
No, I mean, I absolutely think it is. I mean,
and they've been tight-lipped, so you don't know what's real, what's rumor. But I mean,
yeah,
that could be a distinct possibility because they didn't suspect. The reason why he didn't find out till he got to the ballpark was they wanted to see him face to face and tell him, not via text, tell him, but also based on that meeting. You know, maybe we should just find him. They weren't dead set until he came. They did call up Wilk to fill in for him, but just like you saw with Galvin Cicchini last night, they flied over and didn't wind up starting him. That's what their plan was, right? But maybe he showed up all freaking hungover from 4 a.m. and then, oh yeah, you're definitely suspended now.
Oh yeah, that's what this article I have up here is saying is that, you know, maybe the migraine, it wasn't really a migraine, and that the migraine was just him being hungover and he just didn't want to go to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just, that's all it was. He was just hungover. He drank way too much yesterday. He was getting crunked because they had to play Friday, you know, Cinco de Mayo. So he went out Saturday, got lit, you know, forgot that he was told that, you know, he was going to start Sunday.
Well, he reportedly drove the foursome from golf home, so you would hope that he wasn't drinking during the golfing.
Right.
And that caused it, but you know, there's some missing time here. Just like, you know, the Nixon tapes, there's some missing time here, you know. I mean, is the Mets organization treating Harvey unfairly because of their mood has been soured all over these injuries, or is this man at fault?
No, he's definitely
at fault.
He's at fault. He's a child, man. That's the problem. He's a child. He's a 26-year-old, 27-year-old, like 12-year-old. Like, grow the fuck up, dude. Like, that's really what the problem is. He needs to grow up, and he needs to recognize that he's a grown man who's not just playing a game, but you're a grown man who's who's getting paid to play a game. So this is not just a game anymore. This is now your job and a profession, and you need to act like a professional and act accordingly. And that's just one thing that Matt Harvey doesn't know how to do.
Right.
Agreed.
Last question before we wrap up today's show. Will Matt Harvey be a Met at the end of this season?
No. I see him gone at the trade deadline. Somebody will pick him up.
Yes, because he's not a free agent until 2019.
So he will be.
So he will be a Met at the end of this season. He won't be a Met at the beginning of next season.
I can agree with that. I mean, I think you get a good first, third baseman. maybe more third baseman and an arm. A decent serviceable arm.
Get a prospect arm, big time prospect arm in the lower leagues. Get a nice third baseman that can play now. Yeah,
right.
Money.
Absolutely. Getting back to our Twitter poll real quick, give you the results as of the moment. We asked you, who are you stashing in fantasy baseball leagues? 73% of the vote going to Madison Bumgarner.
Well, it's Madison Bumgarner. I mean,
right.
Right, 0% to Matt Harvey, 18 as expected, 18% to David Price, and 9% other, because we talked about a lot of other ones. And if you missed it, you got to rewatch us. We are on point here at Fantasy Dominance now on A2DRadio.com, which is sponsored by the BMW of Atlantic City dealership. They challenge its sales team, and they must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, at least a certified pre-owned elite 2017 BMW 320i with X-Drive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. Hit up BMW Atlantic City. Check them out online. BMWAtlanticCity.com. For Brian Daly, Doug Pitchford, I'm Rob Povey. I'm at the studio on the ones and twos. We'll see you next week, people. Happy hunting.
Peace.